Mikey, andito ka na ba?
I'm here.
Okay. Mag-start na ako in 5 sec. Bear with me.
Okay.
See if I can see myself in Skype. Wala kang preview today. All right. Just learning it technical with myself alone. Struggle naman ng buhay na ito. Pwede mo ito rin ako live. Shit.
I'm trying to increase your. I'm trying to increase the audience.
Sige, go. Hindi ko pa ma-share. Hanggang multitask level 100. Pasok ka. The fuck? Ano naman? May pa ako makapag-share. Ito guide ko bilhin sa live mic.
Okay.
Sa WhatsApp na.
Send also WhatsApp.
Ako minsan na. Sige. Mag-transition ako in 3. Sorry. Okay. Is there a way I can grab you? Shit me. Scale to window. Canvas 1980. It's too big. I got 80. Okay. Mike,
Yes.
i-PM ko sa WhatsApp kung okay ang audio ha or if na or wala. Please.
Sa live or dito?
Yes, sa live. Okay? Pa-monitor na lang ako. Send out.
Choppy siya.
I mean, itong ano ba? Sa live. Transition ako. Ilang, the show must go on. Ano lang, sa audio check lang.
Let's do
do
it.
this.
Let's do it.
Okay. Take it away. Transitioning. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for waiting for us to go live. It's been a pretty tough night for the technical issues, but good evening. My name is Sri, and I am your host for tonight's live webinar. I am the founder of Virtual Live Academy, a platform dedicated to helping aspiring virtual assistants develop the skills, the confidence, and knowledge they need to succeed in the digital workspace. As part of our commitment to continuous learning and professional growth, we started to host live webinars every first Friday of the month to help you navigate your journey as a virtual assistant. We are have you here tonight and encourage you to actively participate, ask questions to make the most of this learning experience. Now, let's get started. Welcome to tonight's session on breaking the ice and first impressions. As virtual assistants, good communication helps us build trust and give great service. In this webinar, we will share real stories, common challenges, and simple tips to help you speak clearly, understand different cultures, and build strong client relationships. Without further ado, let me introduce our speaker. Born and raised In the UAE, our speaker has firsthand experience in adapting to different cultures and communication styles. Now, based in the Philippines, he has spent over 10 years working with international clients in sales, customer service, and operations. From cold calling to leading large teams in real estate, health insurance, and BPO industries, he has mastered strategies for clear, confident, and effective communication, successfully scaling operations from small teams to full scale enterprises. With a background in language training and team leadership, he will share practical strategies to help virtual assistants improve clarity, confidence, and professionalism in global communication. Let us all welcome MJ Ramos. MJ,
Hey, good morning.
good morning from the are you from the EST or in other
Good
part of the
morning
world?
from the PST time zone, even though we're in the Philippines.
Such an accent. Oh wow. Welcome and thank you for accepting the invitation for
Of
speaking with
course.
us tonight. How are you today?
I am
How's the
perfectly well. A little bit nervous because this is my first time live, but it is what it is.
we have
I'm okay.
we have to make it through. Okay. Well, let us not hold these thoughts and these insights any longer. Um, we all have different experiences, and I know you have a lot to share with these audiences.
Mhm.
Now, can you share with us the story of your journey to this industry?
The story of my journey to let's start with the BPO industry. I started when we moved to the Philippines, I was 16,
Wow.
and so not being able to talk in the Filipino language, I was usually bullied at school. So yes, and eventually I learned the Filipino language. When I turned 17, I graduated from high school, and at first, I said I just want to lay back, relax, don't think about college. Uh, I didn't want to go to school. I chose, to tell you honestly, I chose love over college. But then, as the months went by, we were I was 3 months away from my 18th birthday. There was a job fair in my area, and I applied for a job at a call center, just testing my luck. Because the first time I applied, when I was still 17 at the time, I applied at uh, I'm not gonna mention the name, but I applied at one call center in Pampanga, and they rejected me because I'm not, college level. They would only accept someone with at least second year college. That is in second year college. So I got rejected. But then I tried my luck again 3 months before my 18th birthday, and out of the 500 applicants, I was one of the five that got hired.
Wow.
Yes, I was one of the five that got hired.
Interesting story.
And
Amazing.
so I was hired as a debt collector for it's I'm not sure, but you know the company GE, right? GE. They
No,
have light
I'm
bulb.
not
They,
really
they have
familiar with
they have
but
light
okay.
bulbs and appliances and stuff like that. But they also have they call it GE Money Bank.
GE. Okay. I'll do my research on that. Thank
They
you.
called it GE Money Bank, and then I was a debt collector there, and that was my first BPO experience. We would call out to people and ask them to pay their debts that were like 2, 3 years already overdue. And believe me, the fight was a struggle because you would have to fight for even a dollar. And 3 months after that, I got promoted, and then another 3 months after that, I shift to another account where I started as a team lead. no, I'm gonna leave out the the names of the accounts because it's very well known.
Of course.
And when Barack Obama became president, I was already a team leader of this account in this certain call center. Barack Obama became president. He took out all those accounts, took out all those
Horrible.
accounts like from all around the world to give jobs to the Americans. Okay, so they put me in an account where they had to wear a uniform, but I was 18 at the time. I was young and stupid. I didn't want to wear a uniform, and the uniform was pink. I'm like, that ain't gangster, yo. So so eventually, I I resigned, and after that, I received a call. I don't. I think I was referred by a friend at a bank, a call center for a
Mhm.
bank in the U.S. And then I worked there for almost a year. And so this from Pampanga, I moved all the way to Manila. So
Mhm.
then from there, I stayed for a few months. It was yeah, I'm back then. I'm not really the corporate type where you have to wear slacks and leather shoes. I always had issues with people telling you what to wear. So I like my jeans baggy, hanging loose down my thighs, and long shirts. So I was like, nope, not for me. After a few months, I was out of that place, and then I applied at another place in Manila for
Mhm.
a health insurance company, the dental portion. I stayed there. Being young and stupid, you want to move from one place to another, one place to another. You want to enjoy everything. You just you can't you can't stay in one spot. As the Filipinos say, parang may kiti-kiti sa puwet. Right.
Okay.
And so I stayed there for a few months as well. And then I moved back to Tarlac City because when we moved to the Philippines, we stayed in Tarlac City. So Tarlac City is like home base for me. So I went back to Tarlac City, and then I was jobless for about 6 months, and then another job fair. You know, there was another job fair at the capital. I was like, hey, why not, right? Excuse my French, but fuck it. That's what I said. So I went there. I went there and I applied, and without a final interview, just the initial interview, I was hired.
Wow.
So and then when we were in training, our trainers were like, I don't know why you're here, but you should be up here, with us training these people. So they said, you build your reputation for 3 months. And I was already working for a tax company in the US at that time. And they said, build your reputation for 3 months, make sure you have good standing, you have a good record, don't come in drunk, which I did once.
For sure. For sure.
Yes, for sure. I was like 21. I was like 21, 20 at this time.
Young blood.
About yes, about to turn 21. And I was like, okay, okay. I was following my mentor. My mentor was a trainer, and he is also a lawyer. And he was the one that kept on pushing me. Said, you should stop dreaming of being an agent. You should use your skill to start teaching. You should use your skill to start teaching people. I was like, okay, okay. And back then I didn't know how to teach. I would I would stand in front. They trained me from scratch. I would stand in front. I would wear I would wear uh, a polo that is three times my size, and I was a skinny ass kid, and I was like, okay, so this is our lesson for today. You got it, right? You got it, right? Right? I would always ask a question, right? Yes. Just try to get assurance from the people that are listening to me that they understand what I'm trying to say. And I I don't know. At first, I thought I was gonna get fired because the training manager didn't like the way I teach. But instead of firing me, they they trained me more. They focused on me to build myself. So from wearing something loose, I started to wear something tight.
That's quite an impression for you. Yeah.
Yes. So they were like, okay, this is first they started to groom me by the way I look, because I would always come to work as a gangster type of guy. And then they changed the way I look. They changed the way how I used to talk like, excuse the way I say it, but I used to talk like a black American in the hood. So I feel so gangster every time I talk like that. So
Mhm.
I would they changed that from being that to put it in a professional manner.
Of
And
course.
then I started. So when they saw that it was okay, they gave me my first class. And then one class after another, I started traveling almost everywhere in the Philippines. I went to Camarines Sur to teach. I went to Baguio. I went to Bataan. Uh, Davao was my last stop before I decided to stay here. And I was also teaching deans and
Oh,
professors. Our goal is to change the Filipino standard of English to the American standard. So I was a trainer up until I was 22. And then in August 2011, I was assigned to Davao City. The day of my flight was the day that my apartment in Tarlac burned down. So that was like,
oh, that's
yeah. So I had nowhere to go. Luckily, my mom is from General Santos City, which is just 3-4 hours away from Davao City.
mhm.
So, and I had no money at that time because when I was a trainer, our whatchamacallit salary is like a month before we get it.
Mhm.
So I had to sell my stuff, and then
Not a
moving on.
garage sale.
Right. I moved to Gensan. I decided to stay here, and then there are startup centers here, and I started to apply for there. One center to another, one center to another, until 2020 when the pandemic hit. I decided to try my luck working from home, and that's where I started my VA journey. First as a real estate ISA, and then tax, which call it, the tax preparing company, tax preparation
Mhm.
company. And then right now I am working in the medical industry as an insurance verifier. If
Wow,
we're gonna talk about my
that's quite.
experience, we're gonna talk the whole day
Yeah.
before it's finished.
Let's not take the whole hour. But yeah, such an amazing story. Quite a stint, Mike. Indeed. It is. It's a roller coaster ride, but for sure, I think you've settled on for something right now.
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
I know you've experienced having your own business too. But why do you think was your industry on more aligned to BPO? Is it something that you really love? You just love talking or selling or something?
Yeah, maybe maybe I'm just a talkative person that wants to talk to somebody else aside from the people in my house.
So how did you break the ice in all these opportunities? Because people have a lot of first impressions, right? It
Right.
usually lasts. It usually lasts. So how do
Uh,
you break that ice in your experience?
in my experience, okay, I'll tell you one experience. Okay, when I was an operations manager for a center here, I had long hair, full of tattoos. Okay, and then I was walking. I just came. I just I just arrived at the office. I walked through the front door, and there were applicants there, and they were looking at me like. And then one of our people came to my desk, and they were like, "Hey, sabi nung isang applicant, ano ka daw, para ka daw sukarap." I was like, "Really? Interesting. Okay." So I was on conducting the interviews. When I got them to sit right in front of me and I started the interview, they were like, their jaw dropped. Another time is when I was interviewed at a call center here in Jensen. This guy that interviewed me, he's my friend now, but back then he was an asshole. Excuse my French again. Sorry. he
Okay, sure.
he he had long dreadlocks hair, okay, and he felt like a cool dude. And he looked at me in the eyes. He thought I would, like I said, I was skinny. I was very skinny, and he's like, "All right, welcome. He didn't say have a seat. Hey, welcome. I'm your interviewer. Okay." I took my seat. And I was like, "All right, are we gonna begin?" And he was like, Okay, yes, you can sit down." And when I sat down and we started the interview, and he saw maybe, but like my English is not in par with his. He was like, "You know what? I'm gonna hire you."
Mhm.
So impressions, very the people that look at me, they think because I look like a typical guy that you see on the street, but when they start hearing me talk, they're like, "Oh shit, I did not expect that."
Of course. Expect the
So
unexpected for the
exactly.
exceptional. Okay. Well, I think you have so much to prove with the character that you bring when you present yourself. Just like
Yes.
how you're talking about yourself right now. You sound
Yes.
like someone from the third world country. You don't sound like a Filipino. 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 So well, facing all of that for not just one instance, um, how did you face the fears you've encountered? Of course, you can't say that it was all fine by you,
Oh no. Oh
right?
no.
But you had to overcome that.
Yes. Yes.
So what are those fears?
The first one was rejection. Being rejected was
Oh,
the worst fear ever because I already got rejected once. Remember, my first application when I was 17 years old, I got rejected then. So when I started applying, it's a constant fear of rejection every time you try to apply. And then how I overcome that fear is when I get when the interview starts, I try to shine among the rest, rest out of all the applicants there, I try to be the unique one. And challenges, especially here in Jensen, if you're applying here in Mindanao, it's to be honest, it's not a challenge. But if you're applying in Manila or Cebu, there you have people that are almost in par with you because you have American applicants, you got Korean applicants that studied abroad as well. So you got people that are either in line with you or even more than you.
Of course. It's all in the
So,
mind, you know.
right. But
We
then,
create
you
our
know,
own goals.
I would always say, hey, come what may. If I make it, I make it. If I don't, then I don't. If I make it, it's for me. If I don't, then it's not. That's what calms my nerves down every time. And then, you know, you're sitting in the interview room feeling that you're gonna, like, your legs won't move because there's this big fat American right in front of you.
Very spontaneous. Very
Yeah,
spontaneous.
that's the challenge, rejection for me, and my most common fear.
Yeah. Wow. It's really hard to overcome those kinds of challenges. You know, in life, it's never easy to cast away those demons. Sometimes you would always give in to these
Yes.
challenges and fears. So how do you improve? Or are you still consistently making an effort to improve on your communication skills, or is it already a lifestyle? Any habits or life hack you may share with the
So
audience?
when I was a trainer, I always tell my students to practice, even though you're not in the office, you keep on practicing. You know, you keep on speaking in English. Whether you're riding a
Mhm.
Jeep, walking in a mall, don't think about, you know, what people are gonna say about you. Don't think about the impression that oh, Filipino naman to, bakit nagtatagalog? Bisayaan ni
Yeah,
oy nganong nganong Bisayaan ni oy nganong naga-English man ni siya. You don't have to think about that, because if you think about that, that's what's going to bring you down. I told my trainees, pretend that you're on a phone, so you won't mind anybody in the crowd. Pretend like you're on the phone. Talk to somebody that you're on your phone, but make sure that your phone is on mute, because if you're going to start talking on your phone and your phone rings, then you're going to look like, you know, you're going to look like a fake. But you know, that's one way of uh practicing, is continue to speak in English at all times, whether at home or riding a Jeep or in the bathroom or whatever. Right? You pretend like you're talking to someone on the phone. Just keep on doing it until it becomes perfect. It becomes all natural to you.
I believe so. I believe so. It's always a conscious effort for us to be able
Yes.
to continue speaking the language, even if it's not our first language, of course.
Right. So
Um,
I would always speak in English even here at home to my kids, my wife. So that's how I think I improve my communication skills more.
Consistency
Yes.
is the key. Oh, I'm a firm believer of that too. Although I only get to use some phrases from time to time. So sometimes you really need to push it and keep speaking it.
Yes.
Okay. So you've made a lot of turns
Mhm.
on your path to where you
Right.
are now, right? So
Yes.
what was your turning point in all of those things?
Turning point. Turning point. Like
Yeah, the
what
paradigm
made you?
shift.
What
What
made
made
me
you?
apply?
Yes.
To, so, like for this certain position at each center, is that what you're trying to say?
From
So
all
here's
the
one.
industries, maybe.
So here's one thing. When you're in the BPO industry, when you apply at one call center, you don't get to choose the role that you're applying for.
Of course.
So
Mhm.
that is why people that have worked in the BPO industry are very flexible. We can become we can become a tax professional when you need us to. We can become your nurse if you need us to. We can become your psychiatrist if you need us to. We are very flexible because we are trained. Once they give us a position, they train us for 2 weeks first, And then as we go on, we keep on training. Every month there's like another training until you become a whole new robot, right? So not really a turning point. A turning point probably why did I apply at that office, right? Would be um when I was in Jensen, turning point was because my first of all, my dad didn't want me to work. He wanted me to help him with a
Mhm.
business. But I really loved, mingling with other people in the office. That business wasn't really for me, especially the type of business that he was in.
Mhm.
So I applied here in Jensen, and we lived in Pulumulo. But and then after that, when I left my father's, you know, puder ni Erpat.
Mhm.
When I left his house, I was like, I needed to get a job so I could survive, even though my dad gives, he gives me money every time he's back in the Philippines. We have free rice, the apartment is paid, but still, I want to make it on my own. I want to make it on my own where he doesn't have to, where I don't have to depend on him. Like now, I don't have to depend on him anymore. So, it's, uh, I always thought to myself that if if I kept on depending on him, what if he's gone and I don't know how to work, right?
Totally
So yeah,
agree.
it's
I
gonna it was
totally agree with you on that. Yes, I will always inject that to our young minds, right?
exactly
We really have to learn to live because there's no way we can always they can always outlive us. I mean,
mm,
it's the life cycle of a human being.
right.
Nothing lasts forever, they say. That's not about bitterness, okay? It's just the reality and how life
Right.
is. Now, have you had dealing with all these challenges and overcoming all these fears? You have been effectively, um, what do you call that? You've been effectively able to manage your life. I know we're not all perfect, but is there any personal mantra that you're holding to keep up with that?
No, I just tell myself, you only live once. You only live once. You only live once. You gotta do it. You gotta. That's what keeps on pushing me. Like you knew me as a magician, right? So I used
Mhm.
to
I
I
did.
used I practice magic. I practice magic because I want. It's knowledge. It gives you good reflexes, and then also one thing that you don't know. I speak 10 foreign languages and 5 Filipino dialects. So that is
And
yes, that is why I say you only live once because you study or you always study. You always study. To tell you honestly, I'm just a high school graduate, but I've reached the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, because of my mindset is that you only live once, so you have to practice, you have to learn as much as you can. The more skill you have rather than the more paper you have. Oops, can you still hear me?
of course, I just speechless because of the 10 dialects aside from the 5 Filipino languages that you know.
What?
Of course, I was listening. I was just speechless hearing
Oh, okay.
about the languages that you speak aside from
Oh no,
the
because I
natives.
lost my camera a little, for a while there, so I thought I was out of the meeting.
Okay, well, that's totally impressive. Can I
So
say more?
hmm?
Can I say more? I don't think I still have more to say, but yeah. Maybe just the part when you have acquired a lot of milestones in your life, you know?
Mm.
Parang how to be you, no? Parang napakahirap maging ikaw tapos hindi pa kasama yung not including the personal
It's
struggles in life that you had to deal with while doing this career transitions.
right.
That's a lot. That's a lot to take. So, any message to aspiring VAs?
Yes,
Because
yes.
this is a community for continuous learning. So maybe it's an eye opener for most of our audiences here. So any tips
Yes. So this
on
is
how
what
to
I
become as
always
resilient
this
as
is
you
what I
are?
always tell my trainees is never give up, because even after the first rejection, you never give up. Always think like you will always be rejected. Because if you think that, if you're very confident in yourself that, I will make it," and then you get your first rejection, it's gonna bring you down. So I tell my and there's this one trainee in particular. I'm gonna mention him here. I know he's listening.
Okay.
His name is Richard. I keep on telling him, never, ever, ever give up. You you are going to make it. May not be now, right? But you are gonna make it. Just hold on. If the universe sees that you are consistent in what you want, the universe is gonna give it to you eventually. Just never give up.
Wow. Great statement. Do you still have any dreams you want to achieve at this point in your life?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
My
I think you've
my
mentioned that. What is it?
my dream is to sit back and not worry about money and have my own farm. So I have my own livestock. Food will be free. I have
Mm-hmm.
money to pay for bills and everything, and not I just don't want to have to worry about what we're gonna have tomorrow. You know what I mean? I've been in that
That's
situation
fair.
that where I had to worry about what we're gonna eat tomorrow. Does or what the kids are gonna like. I have so one of my kids are sick. Where am I get money for medication? It's hard. So I want to reach that point where I don't have to worry about anything anymore.
Of course, that's something like every fathers would dream for a family or for the
Right,
kids.
right.
Okay. Wow. Thank you for sharing your very, very inspiring story, Mike. By the way, guys, the speaker's name is Mike Jordan. So he's not Michael Jordan of the basketball game, but because he's definitely skinny. Well, not like how we
Not
first
like
met,
how we first
but
met.
not like how we first met, but he's a grown man. He's a grown man and he's a family man now. I'm proud of you, MJ.
Thank you,
Just
thank
have
you.
to know that. Thank you for sharing us your story. And I hope you guys have learned something from these insights. MJ,
Mhm.
you can now leave me alone.
Okay.
No. Just thank you so much. Thank you so
All
much
right.
for
Thank
joining
you,
the
Ray.
session with us tonight. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.